Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us for our second Audioholics Live dedicated live stream. We've got a lot of great content and some very special guests joining us here today. So welcome. Let us know where it is that you are joining from. It's always great to see folks from all over the country and all over the world dialing in. And we are excited to talk about the third edition of Audioholics Live, August 2nd through the 4th in downtown Raleigh at the Sheraton Hotel. Michael, you were there last year. Thank you for joining us today. And we're excited to see you back at Audioholics Live here in just a couple of weeks.
Yeah, man, this will be my third year with you.
That's right. Third year. You've been with us since the beginning. So thank you so much for joining us and supporting the show. Hey, real quick, I know you just had a big event. So maybe you can tell everybody a little bit about M-Wave and what you guys pulled off here just like about a week or so ago, right?
Yeah, so we literally wrapped up this past weekend and or previous weekend. But, man, absolutely incredible. We had just under 500 people, which is huge for us.
Fantastic, yeah.
A couple of guys, putting this together. We don't have a massive team like Audioholics Live. But it was super cool getting to know the fans, working with the vendors and just loving on people, just really just focusing on the community aspect of it. But it was super great. We're ready for next year, but those plans will begin, pretty shortly.
That's right. Yeah. As soon as one ends, the next one begins. Well, congratulations on the big event. I know it's, we know firsthand, what goes into an event like that, but yeah. I know, just congrats for bringing a lot of these amazing experiences to life for people to be able to see and enjoy, like you just said, which is awesome. We're certainly excited to have our chance here in the next, in about 29 days.
Nice.
We'll be back. So we'll be excited to see you here soon. Nick, welcome back. Thanks for joining us again.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Michael, I'm looking for the rest of the massive team. For ours. It never feels big enough.
Like a good punch. And we'll have Gene from Audioholics here joining us here real quickly. And just real quickly, Michael, maybe for those who are on the Audioholics follow us and maybe aren't as familiar with your channel, you can tell them a little bit about your channel and what you do there.
Sure. So I've been doing content creation for about 6 years. Just love home theater. Like that's my passion. I like music, but my primary focus is home theater. So I've got a dedicated theater room here in my home, and I just bring my audience along my journey, reviewing products, trying new things, learning new things. And then I love traveling and doing home theater tours. So I've even been over to Gene's house and done his previous home theater tour at his previous house. And so I love doing that. I've had the opportunity to travel literally around the world, filming just some really cool home theaters, from $1 million home theaters to budget home theaters to DIY. Just been super, super cool.
Awesome. Yeah. So if you aren't already subscribed to Michael's channel, Youthman, feel free or please go do so and support him. He's obviously a big partner of ours. Gene, welcome. Thanks for joining us as well. Glad to have you back.
Hey guys, sorry I'm late, but I am here and it's awesome to be here.
We are glad to have you. And, thanks for joining us to talk all about Audioholics Live and what we're going to have here for folks in Raleigh in just a couple of weeks. So we'll jump right in. We thought we'd have Michael and Gene join us, obviously, to talk about their experiences at Audioholics Live and maybe some things that they're looking forward to seeing here in a couple of weeks. Nick, we got a full agenda, so we'll just jump right in. First off, we are going to be giving away a pair of Heco subs. So 2 of these, just under a $900 value. So if you have questions, go ahead and leave those in the chat. We'll get through as many of those as we can. We can see those if you're coming through it to us via YouTube or Facebook. We can see a lot of those questions coming in. So we'll announce our big winner here. What you can expect to see. So at Audioholics Live, we're going to kick off the show on Friday at 10 a.m. The show is open until 5 o'clock. And then we send everybody over to the Lincoln Theater. We've got a big 12-piece Motown band booked this year. And we're going to announce some big product announcements, both North America and world debuts that we're going to be talking about at the Lincoln Theater that Friday night. And again, you can see a couple photos here from the concert last year. We also have, this year, we have 5 great panels that we're super excited about. Gene and Michael will be joining us on a couple of these panels, in addition to some of the folks that we're going to be bringing on here in just a few minutes. So industry experts, some of the most knowledgeable people in the industry from some of the most reputable brands in the world will be joining us. We have 5 different sessions, 1 on Friday, 2 on Saturday, and then 2 on Sunday. And Nick, I know you're going to be hosting one of those. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about your panel session on Friday.
Yeah. So, as a home theater nerd myself and constant hobbyist, I'm going to be hosting the home theater panel there. So we're going to be kind of diving into all things, and so we're still working on some of the exact details of who's going to be on there. But Youthman, Michael's confirmed on mine, as well as John Heron and Kyle that are on here. So we're also going to have some perspective from acoustics. So it should be a really good conversation. We're super excited.
Very cool. Here's a quick comment. I don't know how to pronounce that first name, but they said I met Youthman in person at Audiovice Live last year, which was my first show ever. It was fun. We drove 12 hours from Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Nice.
My wife told me to stop dreaming about it and just go to one of these shows. And so I made it to Audiovice Live last year, which is awesome to see.
Love it.
I know I spent about 10 years of my childhood growing up in Kalamazoo. So it's a near and dear place to my heart. So thanks for that comment. And again, hopefully you can make it back this year and join us again. Nick, we'll bring on our first guest and just jump right in. You want to tell us a little bit about maybe the first setup that we're going to be talking about here?
Yeah, so let's see. I guess we're going to start off with JVC. So I'm going to bring Patrick in.
Patrick. He's a good dude.
Thank you, Michael.
So Patrick's got a few setups going on here this year. JVC's coming through in a big way and showing off all kinds of toys. So Patrick, what are you guys bringing?
So we're bringing 3 of the top-of-the-line JVC projectors. So the NZ900, I believe one of them is going to be an RS4200, but essentially it's the exact same projector. It's a 3300 lumen projector that does 8K. It accepts native 8K input. And we're going to be throwing all 35.5 million pixels up onto 185-inch Stewart Studio Tech 130.
Nice.
In the main room. I'm really excited about that. And then we're teaming up with Martin Logan, and we're going to have a 133-inch image and Paradigm and Anthem. And we're going to have a 133-inch image on their screens as well. I'm really excited about it. I mean, to be able to bring this product, this is probably only the 5th time that this product's been shown in public, maybe 6th, I think. But we just brought it back from Michael's show at M-Wave, and we had just really fantastic responses for it.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for your show. I'm really excited. This show is great. It's very similar to Michael's in the fact that we get to meet the end users. We get to meet the enthusiasts. And these customers, the manufacturers don't always get to talk to and shake hands with. I've met a lot of potential customers. I've met a lot of old customers. And more importantly, at these 2 events specifically, I've met a lot of friends, and I don't get that kind of response when I go to CEDIA or CES. It's just a much more intimate, powerful event for us. And we're super excited, you guys. This is our 3rd year too, Michael. We've been there ever since they moved to the Sheraton. We've been alongside with them. And we're in the Capitol room this year. Is going to be our main room. And we're teaming up with Focal and Trinnov in that room. And like I said, the Stewart screen is going to be in there. It's going to be just absolutely amazing. So I hope everybody comes by.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Thanks again for supporting us in a big way. And, being in just 3 really amazing experiences. We've had the folks from Martin Logan on last week. And so this week we can unpack, 2 of the theaters that you guys are going to be in this week. So Nick, you want to kick it off with maybe the first theater that we're going to be unpacking here in a second?
Well, yeah, I want to add a few notes to this. So Stewart's going to be our main screen partner here at the show, is our exclusive screen partner. And so, the projector is a huge part of the equation, and the other half is the screen. And so I told Stuart whenever we were doing it, they were nice enough to let me pick out what screens we wanted to do. So we tried to go as big as we could. That one's a Studio Tech 130 screen. So if anybody knows about screens, that's a 1.3 screen gain, going to be one of your brightest for your light controlled areas. We're also bringing in Stuart's new Harmony material, which is going to be a woven material, which is a really cool material that everyone needs to check out. So we're going to have that as well as a micro perf option. So we got 2 acoustically transparent and a non-acoustically transparent. I wanted to show off an ALR. There might be an ALR there. We're just going to have to see. We're waiting on confirmation for it. So it's going to be really cool. So we're super excited about that. So yeah, this the big room with the 185 is going to be going with the Focal setup. So we got a 944 in there, and it's absolutely nuts. Focal is going to be jumping on the call here shortly, and so we'll let them go into detail.
Very cool, Michael. What was your first reaction seeing the brand new JVC projectors?
Truthfully, I didn't get a chance to see it.
No.
I was so busy running the show. I only got to maybe 6 or 7 of our rooms out of 15.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but from you can even see Tyler. He actually traveled from Canada to come to the show. We had 8 different countries represented, all the way from Saudi Arabia.
Oh wow.
One guy, he said it took him 50 hours to get there with layovers and everything.
Jeez,
So
that's
real
amazing.
commitment of these home theater enthusiasts. But Tyler's in the chat, and he said it looks incredible. Like he actually had a chance to check that out, and we had a lot of great feedback on the NC900.
Very cool. Well, you'll have the chance to see it in person, and we'll make sure we get you a full proper demo.
There we go. I would love it.
At the show this year. Gene, have you had the chance to see it yet, or will Audio Vice Live be your first chance?
I mean, last year I saw the NZ9, and it was the best projection experience I've ever had in my life at CEDIA. So I can only imagine the 900 being whatever next level it is. I just can't imagine it being better than what I saw there. So yeah, I'm excited to see it at Audio Vice.
I was shocked as well, but it is a completely new machine. It shares the same plastic housing, but it's got a new light engine, and it's got a new scaling partner. It's absolutely 100% different, except for the lens, the plastic, and the HDMI inputs, because we already nailed that with 48 gigabits per second.
And Patrick, y'all are using 8K content as well, right?
We're not going to do that at Audio Vice Live. We did that at your show.
Okay.
So yeah, we're going to be using native. We're going to be using native 4K content at your show, but that really does give us the opportunity to highlight our new scaling engine. We've got a brand new 8K scaling engine that's going to give you a fantastic picture, and it does that on 4K, but it also do that on 1080 or 720. And actually, the scaling engine that mates with that Frame Adapt 2 and mates with the 8K shift, it's absolutely gorgeous on 4K content.
Awesome. Very cool. Nick, let's bring on our first brand that's going to be doing the demo here with JVC, Focal, and then Trinnov.
So we're going to bring in John Heron from Trinnov, and we've got Chris from Focal. So we've got the trifecta of what, I mean, it's going to be a crazy room. This is one I'm particularly excited about. So yeah, I'll let you take it from there, Jonathan.
Yeah, so you mentioned screen will be Stewart film screen, and the size on that again is
185. So that's 16:9. So that was as big as I could get it in this room without. Yeah, and I had to have someone from our team go out and measure the ceilings to make sure it would fit. So if it doesn't fit, then it's on me.
Yeah, and then Chris, welcome. Chris is with Focal Name America. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about the audio side. I mean, this is the heavy artillery you guys are bringing to this home theater experience, which is just going to be absolutely incredible.
Oh my gosh! I mean, thanks for having us back again this year. I mean, we had so much fun last year, and being able to do this shared partnership, and so excited to do it again this year. Of course, last year we had some. We always come out with the big guns, and so last year we brought our Grande Utopias, as you see here in the picture, and of course with that we had the shared theater. We had our and our suite that we had upstairs, and showcase some of the new product, and we're not going to change it up this year. We're if anything, we're going to go bigger. And so with this on the shared theater side, last year we did Canta, which worked really well, and of course we're very deep in a lot of our product lines, and so this year we've stepped it up. We're going to bring Maestros and Viva for the front end of this theater, and we're going to do surround with Sopra, which is unheard of. It's craziness just for surround. Yeah. And then what's really cool is that we're bringing some RCI product, and having that coherent alignment between all of these products working properly is super exciting. And with that is that obviously, with the partnership with JVC and Trinnov, we're so excited. But we're also bringing name audio amplification. We usually are quite well known for the 2-channel side of our name portfolio, but we're excited to use it in a theater application.
Yeah, really cool. What maybe just for everybody that doesn't have a chance to realize, one of the things that's so cool about the Sheraton Hotel in Raleigh is they actually let us run full Atmos in the theater. In the ceilings, which gives a truly immersive experience especially for a hotel ballroom. Nick, what's the configuration for the setup?
This one's a 944.
944. Right.
Yeah. I mean, I was hoping they would put Grand Utopias as surrounds, but I'll deal with it. Just having this.
We have to leave something for next year.
That's right.
I know it's bad. We had a meeting about this room and we were concerned. We're like, do we have enough power? We got two 20-amp circuits. We're like, do we have enough power for this room? And so I was like, if need be, I'm going to drag a drop cord from the next room over and put it in this one.
I mean, that's a feather in our cap if we're snapping breakers. So we'll take that as a win.
Oh, let's hope it doesn't come to that. But and John, tell us what's going to be on the processing side.
Well, it's yet another French company. This will, at least on the audio side, this will be the French room, I guess. So happy to be working with the Focal folks. As you just said, it's a 944 room. We'll be bringing the flagship Altitude 32 to do all of the processing, and of course, it includes our proprietary optimizer and all the stuff that your folks are familiar with from Trinnov. It's a software-based system, so we can add new features pretty much as they come along without necessarily having to charge for them, which is a terrific. It costs a little bit more money to get involved with the ecosystem, but once you're in, you're in. And about the only thing that costs money after that is the ever-changing landscape that is HDMI, and that's something we all have to deal with. One of my engineers actually refers to it as the hastily defined malfunctioning interface. When it works right, it's fantastic. And when it goes a little bit sideways, it can be hard to figure out sometimes. But I'm looking forward to it. This is our third year with Audio Advice Live, and we were in the room just down the hall, the Hanover room, I think it was called. And I think those were 944 systems as well. But this time those were both using the Altitude 16, and this time we're bringing the big guns.
Well, yeah, we're super excited. I mean, I have clients that come out just to check out Trinnov at the show, and so John's going to be on a booth just outside of that room. So if you guys want to delve into Trinnov processors and everything, he's going to be there to chat about it.
My booth is the one that Nick is going to be stealing power from if he needs it.
Likely so. Yeah. You can find him just under the drop cord. So.
So John, is there going to be opportunity at all to listen to a waveforming demo, or is it just the placement's not going to be conducive?
I was kind of hoping for that, but this is a little bit big. We would probably need some extra subwoofers to really do this room justice, because it's not only like 25 feet wide, but it's got almost a 12-foot ceiling. It's a fairly big room, so I think we'll be a little bit more conservative. But waveforming, we now have like 3 different flavors of waveforming, depending on how into it you want to get. The most recent of which we demonstrated at the Munich high-end show back in May. And it's sort of a cylindrical version. Waveforming, for those of you who've run across it, the goal is to eliminate standing waves entirely and all of their negative effects that cause problems in rooms like home theaters. Well, the first iteration of that was based on the physics, the best way of doing it, which was superficially similar to like a double bass array, but with a lot of extra DSP behind it. And at Munich, we showed what is instead of creating a nice flat wave that travels the length of the room and then gets absorbed at the back, something that's much more practical, especially if you're using some of these really big displays like micro LED or something like that. Just subwoofers along the floor only, along the front of the room, likewise in the back of the room, which creates, it's like a horizontal version of a line source at low frequencies. So it kind of creates a cylindrical, still nice, clean, well-defined wavefront. And it gets absorbed really effectively at the back. It's not quite as good as the full planar version, but it gets strikingly close, and it's a lot less work. It's also fewer subs. So, we'll hold that in abeyance. And if we can work it out, given the size of the room, maybe we'll do that as a secret surprise. But I'm not counting on it.
Well, I got to hear a demo of it last week at Matt Poe's personal theater, and I'm a believer. Let's put it that way. It was awesome.
And Matt's configuration, he's actually one of our beta testers. And one of the reasons we're interested in having him on the team is, well, of course, Matt, he's very sophisticated. He has a really solid engineering background, but his room is also a little bit challenging, just the way it's laid out. And so it's a nice edge case for us and the research team to be able to study. It's not an ideal environment, so it's great because it shows us what what the algorithm can do in a less than ideal environment.
Very cool. Here's a quick. We'll get to a couple questions real fast here. They're sort of related, just in terms of what's Magic asks. What's the most difficult thing to overcome when setting up a room for a show in order to give the best performance to a listener? I'm sure you guys have experienced that, in someone's home. But how about in a show?
The freight companies.
always an issue for sure. Making sure the gear is in the room in enough time to get everything set up. But from other experiences, or Mike, I know you just had a show. Doing a lot of the heavy work yourself. What can you share?
One of the biggest things is you have no control over the room, and just like when we buy a home, sometimes we have to work with what we're given. So whether it's a big room, an odd shaped room, high ceilings, low ceilings, and so the vendors have to do the best they can with the room that they have. Some of them choose to bring acoustic treatment. Others choose to just utilize the room as it is. So those can definitely be some challenges.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Yeah, freight companies are definitely one of them. And, on the coordination side, I think that we want to balance, every single room at the same time. And so I'm constantly, I think we go there. I walk like 15 miles a day in these hotels and I don't leave the hotel itself, just walking around room from room. But, I think that we've learned a lot over the years, and this is our third event. And we like to make it hard on ourselves. So we step it up every single year and make the show bigger and bigger. So I think that we create our own challenges, but we'll see.
If I could add, ours is relatively easy. If I have a throw distance and some light control, I can kind of fix the problems. So I don't really have any complaints about that. I also sneak my gear in by myself, so I try not to be too much of a burden on you guys. But I will say this, your team is fantastic. Nick was with me last year until almost 3 a.m, time aligning my room. Almost 3 a.m. It was fantastic. I can't say enough. And it turned out really, really nice, but it took a lot of work. And that room was a little different than where we're going to be in this year. That room only had like a 7-foot ceiling and it was kind of tiny, and it was a lot of work. But Nick did it, and your guys stand behind what they do and they make the show the best they possibly can for every person that comes.
Yeah, our whole team gives it 100%.
I've done the previous 2 years, and both times I was blown away by your installation teams that created replacement ceiling panels or ceiling tiles with the Atmos speakers in them, and they ripped apart the ceiling and rebuilt it with all the wiring and everything. And that's a lot of work for a couple of days in a hotel. But they were great. They were fantastic to work with.
Yeah.
We were in there with a saw in the ballroom, cutting up panels and reshaping stuff, at 2 a.m. kind of thing.
Yeah. Big shout out to Billy and a couple other guys behind the scenes. John, we have our installers running wires in the ceilings, and we have Billy and some of our brand guys, helping out getting the ceiling tiles cut and speakers put in and all that kind of stuff for the Atmos. So it's a huge team effort, especially to transform these hotel ballrooms into these really immersive theaters. And so it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun, right? I mean, that's one of the things. It's probably one of the most fun weekends of the whole year that we really look forward to every year. So.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick, I know we had a big announcement and someone brought it up, so I thought I'd just speak to it really quick. If you didn't hear the news, let's see, where is the question here? We have a stores in Raleigh and Charlotte, so you may have heard the news. We just acquired a new store down in Wilmington, North Carolina. So if you are not far from there, we're going to be bringing the AudioVice experience to Wilmington, North Carolina here real soon. So appreciate some of the folks giving that a shout out who heard the news. And you're certainly welcome to come to AudioVice Live as well. So be on the lookout for some more news as we get that store up and running here real soon. What else we want to cover for this specific room? And if not, we can transition a little bit to Bocal's additional room they have up in the tower. Any other comments, Nick?
No, I mean, I think that the bulk of it is going to be coming in and experiencing it. So I don't think that there's another show within our area that's even. I mean, I would almost argue if Michael wasn't here, another experience in the country. No, I'm just kidding. No, this is going to be absolutely crazy. The first year we were like, can we do a theater in a hotel with the ceiling panels? And this year we're doing 8, 9 of them. There's going to be a lot of theaters. So plus the tower. So it's a complete hotel takeover. It's going to be crazy. So if you can come, definitely set it aside and don't have FOMO if you miss it and see the coverage afterwards.
Yeah. Well, and Michael,
And
we talked a little bit about his show. He put on a great show a couple weeks ago. And hey, look, this makes it a lot of fun. I'll take a healthy competition where I think the winner is all about at the end of the day.
Well, this year you at least need to trip the breaker 5 times because that's what we did. Legit.
I'm gonna bring one of the little breaker trippers and just do it immediately when we get there about 6 times.
Oh man, we
Get it out of the way.
That was in my
brought
room, by the way.
they brought some crazy systems for sure. Lots of subwoofers.
Well, John, thanks for joining us. And Patrick, we'll bring you back on just in a few minutes when we bring on our next guest, but we'll maybe transition a little bit to Chris. Tell us what you guys are going to be showing off. Not only, we talked a little bit about the incredible theater that you guys have, but also upstairs, you guys have a whole separate experience you can maybe tell us a little bit about.
Yeah, so obviously, like I said, we're really excited about the theater, but of course, here we are halfway through the year, and we've launched a whole bunch of new products this year. We've launched a new floor standing product line, the new Aria Evo X, which is really taken the nation by storm. It's been fantastic. It's new finishes. The moss green, I cannot tell you how amazing it is. If the pictures do it no justice. I'll first and foremost tell you that, and I'm sure you guys have experienced it live. So we're really excited to be showing this. Obviously, that's on our Focal side. On our name side, we're also bringing the new Unity Nova PE. This is our power edition. We've had Unity in our lineup for quite a few years, and it's been super successful as a fully all-in-one integrated. But we did get some people that wanted to run some bigger speakers with more power, and so without having to run a stack of equipment. So the new Unity Nova PE will be displaying it. This is really powerful, 150 watts by 2, so it's almost double the power of the previous Nova model. So lots of excitement around that, and probably the most exciting that we've been seeing, and we haven't shipped this product yet, but this will be the first time that we're going to be showing this to the public, is our new Name CI product. This is our rack mountable, all-in-one integrated amplifier, streamer piece, as well as a big mono amplifier that's got lots of extra gravity put into this box. It's really heavy for the size of it. Makes 1,300 watts, as well as it's also 70 volt compliant. So this works with our outdoor stuff, and our new 8-channel NAP 108, which is, so all these models can be run on, into furniture, or they can be rack mountable. So really awesome entry point into the Name product line, starting around $1,500. So we're super excited to be showing this product.
Yeah, it's going to be an incredible experience. So for those who maybe haven't been to the show before, at the Sheraton Hotel, there's sort of the first 3 floors of these different ballrooms that we've been speaking to in terms of these really immersive home theater experiences, plus the lobby where we had the Grand Utopias last year. We'll have a really cool experience there as well. And then when you go up the tower of the hotel, the 16th, 15th, and 14th floors are all going to be really cool experiences. And again, Focal's got a great experience that Chris just spoke to that you guys will have up there, more on the 2-channel side. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be really, really cool. And something else that's really cool to experience at a totally different price point than maybe from your Utopia lineup, correct?
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Like I said, we're going to bring our, some of our, and I use my air quotes when I say entry level product line. So, again, we're really excited to, as I think Patrick mentioned, to be with the end consumer, talking with them, hearing, what they love, what they maybe don't love, and getting that feedback, which is fantastic.
Yeah. Well, Chris, thank you guys for supporting the show in such a big way. And you guys have a big team coming this year. I think you got some folks coming from across the border there up north. And
we're bringing some of our American team, myself being part of the Canadian team, and then we have some of our French team coming as well. So, which will be great.
Which really means a lot. You guys are supporting the show in a big way. Well, thanks for joining us. We can't wait to see.
One quick note before he jumps out, and this is a question we've seen a few questions about it in the chat. Are you bringing all the finishes for your speaker?
Especially the green. The green on the Evo X is awesome.
We're definitely bringing the green. Everyone's seen black, and the wood is really nice, but the green is really fantastic. I mean, that's depending on the time of day, that green can change a million different colors. So so yes and no, I guess, is the answer to that. So
and are you bringing the concrete finish, or maybe
we will be bringing the concrete finishes in Sopra? Yes.
Cool. Yeah, we got to see those at Expona, and I really like them. So, if you guys come, make sure to take a look at those.
Awesome.
But,
Thank you, everyone.
awesome. Well, again, Chris, thank you so much.
Yeah, we'll see you here in just a couple weeks. Thanks,
You
Chris.
bet. I did.
All right, Gene, what were maybe some of your highlights from last year at the show?
I mean, there was a lot of good stuff. I really enjoyed the Focal room. You know, getting to hear a little bit of the direct art was interesting. I listen mostly to the 2-channel stuff, and I always run into the Neolith room when I can. Yeah, I really. But you know what? It wasn't just about the listening experience. It's actually, I would probably say my favorite multi-channel demo experience last year was the Sony room with the KEF. I don't even remember if it was the R series. It was like
it was the Q series last
Q
year.
series. So whatever they did in that room was magic because the immersion was incredible. The center channel dialogue. We listened to Prague with Hans Zimmerman.
Mm-hmm.
And I just love that room. And plus I love the row 1 seats in there. Just everything in that room just kind of came together, and it was just a great experience. But just meeting up with people and talking to the manufacturers and being in such a non-intimidating environment and having such good organization, where, you know, good flow in the show was just the reason why I'm taking the trek and taking my whole family. We were driving from Florida to make a whole vacation out of this thing because I just enjoy the whole experience. I really love the show.
Well, we appreciate the big support, and bringing the whole family. We really appreciate it. That certainly means a lot that you're going to take a couple of days out of the summer, I'm sure, with the family and come to support the show. And it's going to be a lot of fun. Sony will be back as well. KEF is going to be back as well, so it'll be awesome. Michael, before we bring on our next guest, anything that really jumped out last year that you saw or you're excited to see this year?
So the biggest thing for me is just the amount of opportunities that the attendees are going to have at your show. I mean, with our show, we've got just a few rooms, and we had 15 rooms. You got a whole daggum hotel. And so you had outdoor systems from Coastal last year. That was phenomenal. I mean, you're like broadcasting to the whole world, and those things rocked it out.
Yeah,
then you go inside. You had the cool Devialet. Those were different, but then you got the big, massive Focal Utopias, which are gorgeous. Just some really cool experiences that you just can't get anywhere else. To be able to come in here, great 2-channel setups, incredible home theater demos, and like I said, y'all just do it really, really well, for sure. From the get-go, the very first year, I was like, holy cow, man. It was awesome.
Well, we appreciate it. And again, we love having you guys at the show, covering the show, but we love also having you guys on the panels as well. It's super informative. We're excited to have both of you guys on panels again this year. And like you said, it's a great way to interact with, a lot of consumers and a lot of different manufacturers. So we're excited about those. Nick, you ready to bring on our next partner?
Yeah. So this is a room that I'm also really excited about. I think this is gonna be my first time hearing a theater like this so far. But yeah, we're gonna bring on our friends from Anthem Paradigm. I always fight with the back end here. So we got Kyle and Mike from Anthem Paradigm. Hey guys.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Welcome, guys. Kyle, maybe we'll start with you, and then Mike will come to you next. Just maybe quick introductions. Where you're dialing in from, and what it is, of course, that you guys do for Anthem Paradigm.
Well, just like Michael and Gene, I'm in Florida as well. So there are a lot of audio enthusiasts in the state of Florida. We found out over the past couple of years, and what we do for the company, Mike and I are both regional sales managers for the company, and I'm the director of training for Paradigm and Anthem. So we train all of our great dealer partners like Audio Advice on all of our products and how to implement them into customers' homes. And the really fun part about our job is actually getting to do these shows. I love going to the show. I think it's a great show. I love Raleigh. I'm sure Michael and Gene agree, getting into Raleigh weather and time during the summer is a lot better than getting into Florida weather this time of the year. So I love coming up. And, we're music and we're movie enthusiasts. That's one of the biggest things we love about it. We love meeting people that have common interests. We love talking about all of our great products, listening to really cool movies. I mean, this year I've got a couple slated. Last year we joined like a movie pass. So my wife and I, we go to movies every week and we check out some new demo material for when we do these shows. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's kind of cool. We've got so many home theater enthusiasts in Florida and no basements. So it's
well, Nick, I will tell you, there technically are like 6 basements in the state. I'm not sure if they have home theaters in them, but I wish I had a basement here.
Yeah. Very cool. And so just real quick, Aaron asked, hey, are products going to be available for purchase at the show? Of course they will be. We'll have products available. We're going to do everything to make the rooms, as shoppable as possible. So you have a QR code. You'll be able to take you to our website. You'll be able to see everything that's in that room. Plus, if you want to go from a 10-inch subwoofer to a 12-inch subwoofer in the same family, we'll be able to link to all that type of content as well. So yes, certainly be available for purchase. Not to do the shameless plug, but since you asked, thought we would answer that. Kyle, thanks for joining us. Mike, welcome. I think you're on mute. There we go. So welcome.
Oh, hey, happy to be here. Super excited. I am calling from the surface of the sun, which is Texas these days. It is even for Texas, it's pretty hot. But no, I'm definitely looking forward to that Raleigh weather to cool down slightly. But yeah, I'm super excited about this show. This is, I think, the third year that we've done the show, and Kyle and I had spoken. We've always kind of done a modest system that always kind of punched above its weight class, and we said, hey, let's do something over the top and real exciting. And I think customers and enthusiasts are going to be really blown away with the experience that we're going to present to them.
Yeah, we're really excited about our system. Like Nick mentioned, it's not your average everyday surround sound system that you see in a show or in someone's home. So I think it's going to be an exciting demo experience.
Hey, I don't mind being a trendsetter, so we can maybe this will be something we can build on.
Maybe start to unpack a little bit for us. I know we had Patrick talk about JVC. Maybe tell us a little bit about the screen size, and let's unpack the system a little bit more.
Yeah. So this is another 133/69 screen. This one we're also going acoustically transparent on, so we can play around with that. And, Paradigm, we had an extra room open up, and I was like, there's a brand that I want down there. And I was like, we got to get Paradigm down. So the first thing I did is I called Kyle and I was like, we got an extra room. I really want you to bring something to show it off. And so, yeah, we're super excited. So maybe you guys can break down which products that you're bringing.
Yeah, we're going big. So I'll start with the electronics on the front end of the system. So we're doing an Anthem AVM90, our flagship processor. We're doing two MCA 525 Gen 2 amps, and we're doing an MCA 225 Gen 2 to create a 7.4.4 system. And one of the things we always hear out in the field is, tell us why we should get the AVM90. Obviously, it has 4 independent subwoofers. That's something you can easily see on the spec sheet. But it's everything else that happens whenever you listen to the system. It's how crystal clear it is. It's how much detail there is, how low the noise floor is. And then, of course, having Anthem room correction on board to really dial in those 4 independent subwoofer outputs gives you that immersive, low-frequency effect that we're all looking for. So I love talking about the Anthem product. Of course, it's going to be connected to some incredible Paradigm speakers. So I'll turn over to Mike, and he'll talk a little bit about what we're doing that's unique on the speaker side in the system and some cool colors that we're bringing as well.
Yeah, no, we've launched our Founders series a couple years back. It was one of the first speakers that Scott Bagby, designed when he reacquired the company with his son, John Bagby. It's been an absolute home run series for us, particularly the 128, which is a hybrid amplified bass section, 3/8-inch power drivers, 6.5-inch mid-range, 1-inch tweeter. We're going to do 3 of those across the front. So we're going to do 3 vertical tower speakers across the front soundstage using the Stewart film screen, transparent screen, or microperf screen I think we're using. And we're going to use the 100Fs, which are the series just below the 120Hs. And we're using 4 of our new XR13 subwoofers. So the towers themselves will play sub 20 hertz on their own. The XR13s will play down to flat down to 12 hertz on their own. So we're going to be moving a tremendous amount of air, a lot of low frequency. And we're also going to be showcasing our new Founders anniversary colors. With the 120Hs, I think will be in the Azure, called the Azure Blue finish, which looks absolutely spectacular. We've also got a gray finish that we're going to be showing on both the 100Fs and the XR13s as well. And then there will be a secondary offsite room or in a different vendor room. We'll be showcasing our 40Bs in our ruby red finish. So super excited about it. I think we're going to get a tremendous amount of smiles and wows, I think, out of this presentation. So we're very much looking forward to kind of showing Paradigm maybe in a different light than what a lot of people have seen us in the past.
Yeah, very cool. Good.
And on top of that, both figuratively and literally, we're going to have Atmos height channels.
Nice.
So we're going to give you that full immersive experience, right? So we're going to have the matching E80Rs in the ceiling for height channels. One of the things that Mike and I talked about when we designed the system this year is, taking it over the top, but also just how important it is to have proper bass response. That's something that we talk about all the time. We talk about that on the panels that we do every year with Nick, with Gene, with Michael. And one of the things that I really wanted to focus on is build that foundation for sound, get great bass response in the room, having a proper tower speaker, especially one that has a 1,000-watt amplifier on board, driving those 3/8-inch bass drivers goes a long way to give you that percussive bass response from the main channels. But then the 4 XR13s in the room are really just going to take it to that next level. So we're really excited about it. I've got a lot of great demo content that's really going to highlight what the system is capable of. Not only movies, but also listening to music. We're music fans, we're music enthusiasts. And for myself, I probably split most of my time between movies and music. TV shows are great, but probably 80% of my listening at home is usually movies and music, even in my surround sound system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really cool. We really appreciate you guys stepping up in a big, big way. I can't wait to see the system. It's really going to be, bringing a lot of great partners together. Gene, maybe we'll come to you first. I know you've had the chance to review both Anthem Paradigm and the Founder Series. What are maybe some of your thoughts or reactions to this awesome system Kyle and Mike are going to be bringing to the show?
Yeah, I got a lot of reaction. I'm very intimate with Anthem products. I have an MRX 1140 in my bedroom system. I love it. I mean, it's simple to use. ARC works. It's probably the easiest room correction system to set up and not do more damage than good. I mean, you can have this thing tuned up in 10 or 15 minutes and get really good results. I have the Elite 80A and 80Rs in my family room system, and they're some of the best Atmos speakers, in-ceiling speakers that I've heard. I mean, I just really love the immersive effect I get from that system, and they're just effortless. They just sound great. And I've listened to the 120Hs in multiple settings, and I really love the hybrid approach of having active drivers for the bass, because it allows you to really tune in the bass in your room, especially if you have problematic areas that you can't overcome with a passive speaker. So the 120Hs are just absolutely phenomenal speakers. I even like the Premiers. I've had the 800Fs and the 600C for a couple of years, and I thought that was some of the best value speakers Paradigm has made in years. Very neutral speaker, actually. I think people overlook it because of the price. But yeah, you guys are kicking butt. I mean, look, I've got an AV10 Marantz, and Teo has an AVM90, and we're always kind of having a friendly competition on which processor is better. But they both have their associated strengths and weaknesses, and they're both phenomenal products. And the AVM90 is really hard to beat. I would be very happy having that in the most upscale systems. It's
incredible. And Gene, you made a great point. The Founder 120H, it's the perfect thing for a hard to tame room because it has the active bass drivers. And on top of that, it also has Anthem room correction built into the amplifier section. So even if you don't have Anthem on the front end of that system, if you have a stereo pair and you've got maybe a different integrated amplifier in front of the system, you have ARC to be able to solve those low frequency problems that you have in your room. So it's a really cool part of the speaker that we highlight whenever we do these shows.
Yeah, and I've never heard a system with 120H active speakers with subwoofers. So I'm curious to see how ARC handles all that to get the bass integration right.
Yeah, the bass integration is going to be great, especially because we're using them as a front stage in the system and having the 100Fs for surrounds and surround backs. We're going to blend those tower speakers into that room flawlessly through Anthem room correction. And another really nice feature when you step up into the AVM90, having the 4 independent sub outputs, is we also phase align and time align them automatically through ARC. So we take one of the hardest things to do typically manually in a system, and we rely on ARC with its powerful processing capabilities to do that for you.
So you're going to run ARC on the speakers first and then run ARC on the AVM90s? Is that what your plan is? Or?
Yeah, so we start with the speakers when they have Anthem room correction on board. Then we run it independently on each subwoofer, and then we run over the entire system with the AVM90, so we can critically affect the low frequency response from the speaker to the powered subs and eventually the entire system on the Anthem AVM90. So it'll be really cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've also got an 1140 sitting in my theater, and the CI Elite E80Rs. I was mind blown when those things came in. They're super heavy. I got them up in the ceiling, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna run these through their paces for a little bit. And I was really close to doing the forbidden thing of having stereo surround, because I hooked it up. I was like, I'm gonna do stereo surround, even though I can't stand it normally. So I threw on stereo surround and ran it for a little while. And no, I'm completely in agreement with Gene. Arc is so good if you're just running it, by itself compared to pretty much anything else. The phase alignment is just nuts. So yeah, I've got it on my system and tinkered with it a bunch of times and love it.
And another really cool fun fact, Mike mentioned this earlier. We call these the 41 anniversary edition finishes because we were celebrating our 31st year in business as a speaker manufacturer. So since 1982, Paradigm has been manufacturing high performance speakers. The majority of our speakers are made right in our facility in Canada outside of Toronto. And about 90% of this system is built in Canada. From the Founder series to the XR subwoofers to the MCA power amplifiers, including the Elite and ceiling speakers, which is a really cool part of our brand. We build so much of our speaker models in our home facility based right outside of Toronto in Canada.
That's awesome. Yeah, the build quality reflects it for sure. And Michael, you've had some chance to play with some Anthem gear, haven't you?
I have. So if I wasn't busy running the show, I could play more with the stuff that I've got.
That's right.
So one thing I love about Anthem is it does give you a ton of flexibility. I've pretty much owned Odyssey products over the years, and so that's kind of a one and done. You just click it and it does it, and you have a little bit of flexibility. But man, with Anthem, I've got the AVM 70. There's just so much flexibility. I mean, a ton of customization. You can really dial in your system. Definitely more of a learning curve for sure, but just gives you so much flexibility using the IP, not an IP address, but using a web browser basically to dial into the system. Just gives you a ton of flexibility. And I love the fact that you can even create, I guess, what you call virtual inputs, which is pretty slick, man. So just a whole lot of flexibility on that. And last year I had a chance to visit the Anthem booth and the Paradigm room. Oh my goodness, Kyle, I had a chance to interview him. That room was set up really nice, super impressive. Even their quote soundbar was blowing me away, man. So it was just great system. And even in small, compact subwoofers, a lot of times we think that we've got to have this massive cabinet, but I was really impressed with the amount of power and the amount of depth, as well as the bass response in that room.
Yeah, that was pretty incredible. And that's a big room. Our demo rooms are large at CDO. So we were filling that room with two of the Seismic 110s, which is a subwoofer that packs way above its weight class from a bass response standpoint, right? Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's a really cool part about the brand. We have a lot of options for everybody's needs, whether we're putting speakers in your house, around your house, out around your back door, your kind of back patio area. Make sure that you have that whole area covered with great Paradigm sound. And luckily, we're not doing an outdoor system this year in Raleigh, North Carolina, because it probably will be pretty warm up there.
Warm.
It's definitely a bit warm down here in Florida. I've been enjoying my outdoor system over the past couple of days, and I have two big umbrellas to make sure that I stay a little bit outside of the sun while I'm doing it.
Very cool. Like I saw someone in the comments said they're joining us from northern Michigan, and it was like a cool 70 degrees. So I know you can relate to that. I grew up in
Who's from northern Michigan? I grew up in northern Michigan, so
some pretty nice summers up that way. So
they're beautiful up there.
That would be perfect. Yeah, if it was 70 degrees here, I would be outside all of the time. I would take all of my conference calls from my outdoor patio area.
There you go.
If it was 70 degrees here, it was just at like 5 in the morning. So
yeah, it's not been 70 here for about 3 months. So.
People are asking about registering for the show. Again, the show is August 2nd through the 4th, so coming up here in a little less than 30 days. You can go to audiovice.live and you can register right there. We do have an early bird special for the whole weekend, and then we also have a couple different coupon codes that we have out there for little bit off on the registration. So we're super excited about it. You can register all the way up into the show. The early bird pricing does expire actually at the end of today. But we'll leave that up on the website. So again, we had around 1,600 folks last year. We're expecting a little closer to probably hopefully 2,000 this year, and we're trending above where we were last year. So it's going to be a great turnout to support these brands and our content creator friends as well. And Michael, Gene, we've tried to link to a lot of the content that you guys have created both for Anthem and Paradigm. So I plugged Youthman's channel a little bit earlier. Gene, maybe you can tell everybody a little bit about your channel as well.
Sure. Well, I've been around for 25 years now, which is kind of crazy. I started off as an editorial side. I just wanted to kind of bring some truth and debunk the marketing jargon around audio, especially around cables. And I just kind of grew from there. I used my engineering background to take apart stuff, do measurements, work with manufacturers, hopefully to work on next generation products to maybe improve some performance or weaknesses I found. And then I got an incredible staff of talented writers that have different specialties, loudspeakers, psychoacoustics, that kind of stuff. And I got into YouTube probably around 2014 or 15. And I started off pretty rough, as you guys know. I didn't have good audio, didn't have good video, and I've been working to improve that all the time. And I've been making some great friends like Michael, for example. I really enjoy interacting with him. I think YouTube is the future for what we're doing. People are very visual creatures. They don't want to read 7,000 word reviews. We still do those reviews, but we give you more digestible content on YouTube. And that's really where we're focused now, to try to hit all the platforms, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and even our newsletter. So yeah, we try to do a multi-tiered approach to give what everybody wants. And sometimes we're a little over technical, and I'm trying to work on scaling that back a little bit to reach a more general audience. But it's been great. I mean, it's been passionate. I've been reinvigorated by our hobby just because of how good the gear has been getting over the years. And it's getting harder and harder to criticize stuff when everything is being made so well now.
Yeah, very cool. So if you don't know Gene, if you're tuning in, maybe you're an Audio Vice subscriber, definitely check out Gene's channel, Audioholics, and obviously check out Michael's as well, Youthman. Those guys provide or create great content, and they've been tremendous partners for us for several years now, and we're looking forward to an amazing future and looking forward to seeing you guys at the show. Mike, Kyle, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate you guys bringing it, in a big way this year and stepping up with a full theater setup. It's going to be awesome. We'll see you guys here in a couple of weeks. And, again, thanks again for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much, guys.
Excited.
See you in a couple weeks.
Yep. See you guys.
Let's see. Gary had a comment. I guess Gary's a local native here. He had a couple of different recommendations for folks coming to Raleigh. Maybe if you haven't been here before, Raleigh is a great town. Lots of great restaurants. We've got some really well-known restaurateurs, if you will, and chefs and so forth. So lots of great places to check out if you're coming in town. Also some great live concerts the weekend of Audio Vice Live as well, in addition to our kickoff Friday night, which is going to be a ton of fun. Gene, Michael, what else? Maybe any closing thoughts about the show coming up here before we wrap up and announce our subwoofer giveaway winner?
I think the biggest thing is you just need to make plans to come. I mean, reality. Where can you go to experience? One of the big things that I know Gene gets this all the time is, man, I wish I could hear this, or I wish I could sit in this, or I wish I could see this.
Mm-hmm.
This is your opportunity. Like, we don't get this at Best Buy. Most of the home theater demo showrooms have shut down in Florida. We don't have hardly any of those. There's, I think, one in Tampa. There might be one or two in Orlando. But the reality, here's a ton of brands. I mean, how many brands do you have at the show?
We're going to have 80 brands this year.
Yeah, I mean, think about that. 80 brands. You're not going to get that anywhere else. So come, let's hang out. We'll have a great weekend, and we'll have some fun together.
Awesome.
Gene? Yeah, and I'll just add that I don't condone online demos. I see people doing these YouTube demos thinking you're going to hear a speaker through your Beats headphones. You won't be seeing me doing that, whether I have a binaural mic or a trinaural mic. I'm sorry. I just have to speak out about how ridiculous that is. Going to a show like this where you can actually sit down and hear the speaker and hopefully set up correctly by the manufacturer, and being able to see and touch and feel the product is a whole different level of how you get to experience that product. So we really need to support shows like this that
Yeah.
bring you to the manufacturers, that bring you to these controlled listening events,
Mhm.
and just meeting the people behind it. I love meeting the people that design this
Yeah.
stuff. I love to see what goes on in their heads and see their genius in person. And you just can't get that online through a YouTube demo.
Yeah, I've pulled my audience before, and even at your show, I think last year when I was on the panel, I just asked them, how many of you have never experienced a home theater apart from your own? And about half of them said that. And then I asked them, how many of you have never experienced Dolby Atmos? And about half of them did. So think about this. Here's your opportunity. Come hang out. You can experience some different home theater setups in a showroom, in a hotel room, but it's a pretty good representation of what you would get. If you're going to be impressed with it at the show, I guarantee you'll be impressed with it at your home.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
absolutely. We are super excited. Like you said, you know, it's a big lift for the team at Audiovice. Again, we don't have a dedicated team of folks to pull off the show, but we have a team that is incredibly dedicated, I'll say.
Mhm.
And so they do a fantastic job. And, you know, Nick and I are you know, fortunate enough to be able to, you know, really be the evangelist for the show. And again, thank you to folks like you guys who help us promote the show and broadcast the show in a big way. And, you know, thanks to our brand partners like JVC, like Focal, like Anthem Paradigm, like Trinnov, that really help bring these experiences to life and make the investment. I think last year we had 9 freight trucks pull into the Sheraton.
Wow.
Gear and equipment to pull off the show. This year, obviously, it's only going to be more. I don't know the final count yet, but it's a lot of work, you know, to pull us off, load in all the equipment, get all the rooms ready to go. Michael, I know you know this firsthand from just a couple of weeks ago, and then, you know, pack it all up and send it out, you know, at the end of the weekend. So it's a big undertaking, but it's a ton of fun being able to spend time with the brands and the manufacturers and the industry experts, like you mentioned, and being able to spend a lot of time with consumers. I mean, at the end of the day, this is all about is, you know, bringing these incredible experiences to life, whether it's, you know, a family be able to sit down and watch a movie together and spend some time together, or, you know, you and your significant other while you're making dinner, listening to music, you know, whatever it is that helps bring these experiences to life. That's what really makes it all worth it. So again, thanks for supporting the show, and we look forward to seeing you here in about 3.5 weeks.
It's gonna be here before we know it.
We got a quick winner that we're going to announce for our Heco subs. The winner has been selected by our team. I don't know how to pronounce that first name. Maybe you guys can help me out. But Oscar Posey, is it?
Oscar?
We'll go with Oscar. Oscar is a winner. He said he met you at the show last year, Michael, and so hopefully you'll be able to come back this year. And so we will reach out to you on the Heco subs, and we'll get those over to you. Thanks for joining. Thanks everyone for joining us for this live stream. We're going to do it all over again next week. And then the following week, the last week before Audiovice Live next week. Nick, maybe give us a quick little preview about what we're going to cover next week on the 2-channel side.
Oh, let's see. I'm going to have to pull up everything.
Got a long list of notes.
I know. I went to go open my tabs, and I've got about 100 tabs open. We're going to be covering all things the 2-channel for our show, including some. Well, you know what? We'll save it. Join in next week. We're gonna have some really cool stuff. I'll be hosting next week with some really fun brand partners. So make sure you join in.
How about that teaser?
There you go.
I know.
Right. That's why we bring him on the show. So, Gene, thanks again. Michael, thanks again. Look forward to seeing you guys in a couple weeks. Thank you, everyone, for joining the stream and for supporting Audiovice and for supporting Audiovice Live. Obviously, we wouldn't be here without you guys. And we will tune in, and we will see you all next week.
All right, guys. Happy 4th.
Yeah, thanks.
Happy 4th. Thanks, everybody.